Hey Laura, good morning. We're testing things today, so we are also live on YouTube. We're seeing how all this works. That's why it looks different than usually. You got echo? Is
that better? Sorry. Okay. Trying to fix things. Trying to make sure it all works. Morning, Kiva. Hey, Livy. Sorry for the echo. How's everybody doing today? Doing okay? Good. Good. So we'll see how this works trying to get up, because I know Scott's going to want to come up, but because of the way I'm doing it, he's going to have to come into in via Discord. So that'll be interesting. Yep. Yeah, I'm live on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. We're kind of testing things, getting ready for Monday. So the real question is, can we actually get him in? Well, good. I'm glad you are. He's been in Discord. He's been in chat, but has he done voice chat before? I'll be interested to see. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, he has? Oh, there you go. Then we should be good. See, I just need them to get here so I have so I have people to talk to, because right now everyone in YouTube thinks I'm talking to myself. Not that I don't talk to myself all the time, but ba, 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 ba. You ever get music stuck in your head where you like hum it like a million times over, like one part of it? Like you don't even hum the whole song. You just hum like a 5-second chunk of it again and again and again and again and again. That is what I've been doing all day. I'm not even sure what song it is. It's just like the music and the beat. Cam sees me down in the Discord and he's like, what is he doing down there? Feel like it's more quiet than usual. What's going on? Maybe I should just play some music. I don't know. No. Well, maybe. Tell Cam to get in the waiting room so I can bring him in so I can be talking to somebody. Please. Ooh. Maureen, thanks for the sub. Appreciate you. It's so interesting how the DAO oh no, the DAO is going up. For some reason it wasn't updating. That's weird. Oh no, we gotta leave that. Yeah, these are the things I need to figure out why it's not working. Guess I can only have one consistently updating. That's a we're gonna play some music. And then if Cam ever gets in. People still hear me? What's up, buddy? Oh, hold on. Why am I not hearing you?
I'm here.
There you are.
What's happening? What's going on?
I'm live on TikTok and YouTube today.
I don't even see you on TikTok.
Really? Eva's on.
Yeah.
Eva found me. That's so weird. According to this, there's 268 people watching me, in fact.
I cannot get to your TikTok live. I'm at your page right now, and there's no live notification or anything.
Weird.
What's the banner today? Since I can't see it.
It's just Freeform Friday. It's a Freeform.
It's Freeform Friday.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
I have just a few minutes, and then I got a doctor's appointment, and then I'll probably be right back, hopefully, to the TikTok side.
What are you getting a doctor's appointment for?
I have poison ivy over most of my body.
Oh, I've had that happen. Oh, and it was so bad. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I am particularly sensitive to poison ivy, and it's just all over my yard. So I mowed the other day, and it must have vaporized or something.
Oh.
So I'm hoping they got something strong for me.
Yeah. Well, the stocks are going up a little bit today.
Stonks.
Like 0.5% so far.
Still
It's
down
so quiet.
5%
It's so
month
quiet.
over month.
This is so weird, by the way. Like, a couple people have talked, and maybe people are talking, and I'm just not seeing any of it. Like, if people are talking in TikTok right now, please, like, just write on TikTok or on YouTube, because right now nobody's talking, and this is really weird.
Are you saying there are other people in the box?
No, there's nobody in the box. I'm just talking about in chat.
Oh. It sounds like things are a little glitchy today.
They're chatting
it
away.
Doesn't sound like it's your fault.
Yeah, it sounds, looks like it's me, because it says they're all chatting, but I don't see any of it. See, this is why
and I can't get into the live.
This is why we're doing the testing, because I just got a text saying they're all chatting away, but I see none of it. Oh wait, now I see it. It's just because I've separated it out. Okay, there we go. Now I see. That's so dumb. Like so when you go live on both, it throws me out. It throws the TikTok chat into like this separate thing. You would chop it and get used to it. Well, I appreciate you jumping over here, over onto the YouTube side of things. But it allowed me to pop it out, but it's like it all stopped. Okay, now I can see everybody. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hi. Hello, hi, 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 hi. I'm going to say just random highs now to everybody. So yeah, for those of you that just got here, is that, what's it called? The streaming thing that does them all? I'm using Streamlabs. The numbers are blocked. Fine, Kia. Fine. I'm just kidding. So how did you get poison ivy, Cam?
Mowing my lawn. Just yeah.
I did it. It happened to me mowing too. Actually, it was
just
weed
have to
whacking.
be more careful.
It was weed whacking.
That could have been it too.
Because
I also weed whacked.
I did it in a place that had it, and it just sprayed the stuff all over.
I bet that was it. Yeah. I just got to be more careful to like kind of wipe and towel off after I mow any time, I guess. Because apparently it's an oil that
Yep.
is in the leaves,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get it off with some soap and water, but you got to do it within a couple hours of exposure.
What is happening? Cam has poison ivy, Kia.
And I'm just scratching away over here,
Don't.
just going feral.
I had like blisters. Like that's how bad mine was.
Ooh.
Oh, why do we hear him but not? Because so he's in Discord, Kia, because I'm live on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. So we're testing things for I'm starting testing process, getting ready for Monday. We can only see the very bottom line. Bottom line of what? Like of people chatting? Yeah, wear long pants and long sleeve shirt. Yep.
It's hot down here. It's so hot.
Thanks, Dumpin. I don't know why only one would be showing up. That's like it should just show up like every other normal thing. Never a dull moment, is it?
No, sir.
Yard workers in North Carolina wear long sleeves all summer long. That's true. Probably for that reason. And Cam see the chat? No, because he's in Discord. Yeah, I don't. Never a dull moment. That's for sure. What's interesting is I have more viewers now than I normally do, supposedly.
Oh shoot! They made my appointment an in-person one. All right, I gotta go to
All right.
tell them make this telemedicine. Catch you
Okay.
later.
Bye. Hey, Connie. Better now is just blocked by my text. That's so weird. It's showing like a whole huge blank space at the bottom of mine. How are things in Kentucky, Dan? Hey, Garpoo. Home ownership is so fun, isn't it? So much fun. Interesting. That's so weird. Okay. Well, I'll make adjustments. That is not what I see. But this is why we do this, right? Both places, nice. Oh no. What now with the house? Oh no. Cam was just on here and he got poison ivy while working on his house, it seems. Hopefully that's better for you guys. Wet? So yeah, and we were commiserating on the fact that I had poison ivy. I got poison ivy really bad, probably 3 or 4 years ago. 3 years ago? Like I still have scars on my legs from the poison ivy. It was that bad. What's up, Cody? Oh, that's total viewers. That's not the amount of viewers actually in there right now. Gotcha. So yeah, guys, we're trying things. Does that look better, Kia? Yeah. Poison ivy is literally the worst. It's like literally the worst. Okay, good. That looks closer to normal. Yeah. Good. I don't know why it looked like that. You should see what it looks on my box, because that's not right. Oh well. This is why you do stuff. Hey, Leah. If any of the community wants to join in and talk, at least on Discord, let's jump into the waiting room in the voice channel. I'll bring you up so it's not just me talking. Morning, Frodo. Talk about what's going on in the world. Hey.
Okay, I gotta turn you up because I can't hear you. Well, I can't. It's all the way turned up and I don't hear you.
Turn myself up a little bit.
I hear an echo, actually.
Do you have stream going too?
Let's see. How about now?
Hello, hello, hello.
You're still like really low, and I got my phone turned all the way up. Let me unplug my charger.
Yes, don't forget to like the live if you're on YouTube. I'm also looking. No, I'm full output. Like I'm like loud.
Yeah, like you sound so far. Like it almost seems like there should be headphones on or something, and I'm like,
All right,
what's going
hold on.
on?
Let me check. It could still be me.
You know, it's still too low. I can't hear you.
Is that any better?
No. Like you sound, it almost sounds like I have you under my pillow in a headphone, like have headphones connected under my pillow. You sound so far away.
That's weird.
It is. Let me hang up and let me do it again.
Okay. How you doing, Trudy? I was told I had to come into the office today, so you can't join. Oof. Hello, is that any better?
See, it sounded loud, and then once you came in, the sound went down.
That's so...
Hang on. Let me go on my iPad, because I want to see what it sounds like on my iPad.
All right. Yeah,
well, the only thing is that the mods being in the box, unless there's other mods in the chat, is not going to work if we can't see the chat.
Oh,
You're gonna have to figure it out. Like Mr. Jones has it set up where he has boxes on his screen and he's streaming on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube all at the same time.
I mean, I can put the chats in places. I was just trying to make sure. Just fighting a cat off your computer. Nice. I've been. She's on Discord, Philip. She's on Discord, Philip. Ooh, I can hear myself now. She's on Discord, Philip. Ooh, I can hear. That was actually a pretty short time frame. That was pretty cool.
This is just absolutely not working for me.
No, I understand that.
I hear you fine, but there was an echo, like when I went in on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
See, like now I can't hear you at all.
That's so weird. This is annoying.
It is. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just hang up. I'll just come back to the chat.
Okay. Sorry. Oh. Bye. What the heck was that? Good. Yeah. I have no idea how that word got through. But yeah, kind of stuff we had going on today. I feel like even though the news was kind of nuts, it wasn't like I've seen worse. Like, if that makes sense. Like in the grand scheme of things, the news hasn't been absolutely like crazy. Other than the helicopter going down. My phone is on the same level as when I was in Discord. That's weird because we've done this before. Like you and I and Shane have gotten on Discord together. What do people got going on this weekend? What's it look like? I was just reading a report today that says that these trade wars have caused U.S. oil producers to not want to drill baby drill. Feels like it's going against the it's going against what someone said they were gonna do. It's like tariffs are a bad thing. Your oldest daughter's birthday party is tomorrow. That's cool. I appreciate all everyone's coming over to YouTube. Peace to the penguins. Hashtag stop tariffing the penguins. Flooding has been bad there. Yeah, I've been hearing about a lot of flooding going on in a lot of different places. So guys, make sure if you haven't already put on your calendar, we're doing the fundraiser for Parkinson's research on Monday. No matter what, even if some people who were supposed to be there can't do it. So make sure if you know anyone that likes science, since the NIH is firing people that are doing Parkinson's research, it's on us now to help if we can. On glacier water, one time discuss tariffs. Okay. Hello, is that any better? You're muted if you're trying to talk.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's better. 'Cause
Okay, good.
I muted you on my phone so we didn't get an echo.
Gotcha.
But yes, now I can see. So I got our boxes on Discord, and I've got my phone in my hand,
Yep.
so I can see the chat.
That
Because
is.
I can sit here and just talk to you and not see the chat. That would drive me nuts.
I know. I understand that, and it's there are ways to get around it that if more people do it, I can actually like share my screen so you can see what I'm seeing, but
and it's funny because the voice sounds don't match up to you talking.
Oh, because there's a slight the voice is coming a little faster.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. It takes some getting used to for sure.
It does. And I'm trying not to pay attention to the lights moving behind those things. Like, that's why there's this lady named Doodles that lives in Australia from Bex's Live, and her screen is always moving. That shit, I can't process it. I can't join her lives because that constant movement drives me nuts.
You mean the thing that I just got rid of?
Oh my gosh, yes. I was trying not to look at my phone.
It's fine. I don't need it. I don't need it. Maybe I do, but I don't need it.
Are you frozen like a penguin, Chi-Chi?
Or a seal. I wonder if Scott... There are some people that weren't seeing me go live this way, which is really sad.
Well, I get the notification from Discord and the social pings when you go live.
That's true.
So even if I don't get, because honestly, most of the time, I don't get a notification from TikTok for you. I see you because of Discord.
Gotcha.
But before I clicked over, I was in fact Still Matters Steve's live, and he was just reading, and I didn't catch, I think he said something about the governor, something about a bill banning the truck balls on the back of the trucks, and any showing of any kind of parts, like, so no breasts being able to be shown.
Oh
any
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, but he was reading it off, and I'm like, are you kidding?
The no balls bill.
Yeah, the no balls bill. And it's like, bill, and it's just crazy because it's like if somebody is offended, and I'm like, so what about stores like Spencer's and Adam and Eve and these other adult places? Like, is someone just going to be able to say because you're not allowed to show things that look like other things?
Yep.
And I'm like, are they going to shut down all of those stores? Like, what the fuck is going on? Do we not have more important things to do, like making sure all the children are fed and making sure that they can read and write?
Frozen again. God.
And not for me.
I don't know.
Gotta love technology.
Yep. I'll be interested to see how it works going live on Substack for the first time. Because I know a lot of people are doing that now. Like, I know people that have left that are like not even like they were big YouTubers and they've actually left YouTube and are going full on Substack. Like they're doing like cooking content. Like they're not, it's not even like what Substack used to be about, which was just like journalism. So I'll be interested to see what it's like. The DEI ban on at school is ridiculous. Yeah, there are what, 4 states I saw that are being investigated by the DOJ for ignoring the ban. Hey Tiffany. Morning, Joanne.
It's just such bullshit, because how is that not discrimination? Period, point blank, end of fucking story. I just
Yep.
Like I listened to a live for a couple of minutes and then I had to go because everybody started getting loud. But there was a lady. I follow some of the people. I'm actually friends with one of the people that were on the panel. But there was a lady. She said she was YT passing Cuban, and she didn't understand why people got upset with her when she says she doesn't see color. And there was a black woman and a black man that tried to explain it to her. And there was other YT lady named Mama Lo, and she was up there just going to bat for her, and you stop bullying her, and I'm like, y'all, do not say, any of my YT people in here, do not tell somebody, a person of color, that you don't see their color. By doing, and this woman could not understand, by doing that, you were legitimately saying to their face that you do not see one of the biggest things of who they are, and you don't see their experiences in this country.
Yeah.
Do not somebody that you don't see their color, but because and she kept trying to say, well, because I love everybody. That part is great. But what you're not listening to, you're so busy trying to defend yourself, because she's like, well, what should people think of me? That's not the same. That's two totally different things. That is two totally different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't.
Yeah.
I had to explain that to my YT bonus sons. Like, please don't ever say that. And he was like, that's what my mom, and I was like, and I'll talk to your mama about that too. But don't say that. That is so harmful.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could think of something that would just easily make people realize how easy it is to just listen and care. Like, when you start caring, truly caring, and stop worrying, and stop sorry, I gotta find a different way to do this for the future. When you start caring and stop thinking about things you can and can't say, not even should or shouldn't, because yes, you should think about what you should and shouldn't say, but like, it's not as hard as a lot of people think. All you've got to do is care, because the second you start caring, like, again, I can use Kia and I guarantee that if I said something I shouldn't have said, Kia would let me know in a moment, in a split second. She would call me out.
You damn Skippy.
But the difference between me and the people that you were talking about is, if you told me that I shouldn't say it, not only would you not be like pissed off at me in the sense of, because you know that that's never my goal to offend you or anybody, but also I care. So what happens is, you say that I did something wrong. I go, oh man, I didn't realize that. Thank you for letting me know. And I freaking fix it. And it's really not that hard, because the second you start actually wanting to fix these kind of things, like the second you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. What ends up happening is while you're talking, you start not saying stupid stuff because you're actually thinking about it. Like, I don't sit here and I don't go, oh man, what can I say and what can't I say? I just talk. But because I actively don't want to offend other people, I don't want to say things that are mean or hurt other people, it's not that hard. But what ends up happening is there's a whole group of people that just, they hate the fact that they have to think about what they're saying. So by the fact that they are hating it and actively hating it, they in turn do it more because they aren't trying not to. They're just complaining about the fact that they have to in the first place.
Not only that, like when it comes to something like color and a person of color is explaining to you why it's problematic, that is not the time for you to try to overtalk them and tell them they're wrong. You will never be right in that circumstance, ever. Period. Point blank. Because like what the lady was trying to explain to her is, she's like, what you don't understand is I can be, people that look like me are treated differently just because of our skin color. And by
Absolutely.
you saying that you don't see the color, you're negating all the shit that comes with us, the shit we get just because of color. You don't say that.
That they're still, that you guys are still experiencing. Like,
Yes.
like this isn't a, you know, this is only happening now, and, you know, or this only happened 100 years. Like, I know there are lots of people that think that there is no more racism. Sorry, you're wrong.
Yes.
How can I say that? Easy. Because there are people that are saying, there are people that will not vote for someone for president because of the color of their skin or because of their gender. Like, the fact that there are people, if you walk down the street and you see someone who looks like Kia, who is if you see a black person and you go and you just think, oh, are they going to do something horrible to me? Because I guarantee if a white person was walking down the street, those same people probably wouldn't think that. And that's the problem. Or that's part of, there's a whole bunch of problems, but that's a problem. And the problem is that still happens. There are still people that look like me out there that walk down the street and see someone of a different skin color and naturally think that they are an immigrant or just you know, a bad person that are you know, that are going to hurt them or all the other crazy things that these people think when that they have in their head. That still exists in great quantity in this country.
I mean, like, all the DEI stuff and what that has turned into goes to show you the extent of how real racism still is. I don't think people understand that when my mother and father were born, it was illegal for them to get married in this country. I'm not talking back fucking 1800s. I'm talking my parents, the two people that that came together to create me.
For
When
sure.
they were born, it was against the law. And I don't think people realize it was that recent ago. It was in their lifetimes where they weren't supposed to go to they were not allowed to go to the same school. Like talking to the boy's grandma, who is a black woman that was born and raised in North Carolina. There's a building here in Four Oaks that used to be the segregated school where all the black kids went to. The building that we have church in was part of, at one point in time, the only school for black kids in this entire county, in Johnston County.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about from like in 1953. You know what I mean? Like, this is not that long ago. And I think, you know, and it's hurtful because for me, if I try to tell you, if I'm trying to explain to you why what you're saying is hurtful, and I get any kind of pushback, automatically you've removed yourself from being an ally or an accomplice. If you don't understand, if you can't get that basic thing, how dare you try to call yourself an ally? Yep,
100%.
Jim Crow down laws. There's still sundown towns. There are still sundown towns. The Green Book that Black folks used to travel with so they knew where they could and could not stop.
Yep.
This is absolutely insane. And to hear her getting so pissed off, and then to hear Mama Lo up there just, trying to defend her, I'm in my head, I'm sitting here thinking, like, this is why people that look like me are not out there fucking marching, because there's still people like you saying the shit you're doing. No.
Yep. And it's the same issue that we've got with Christians, even Christians that are more progressive. If people in this country are telling you their experiences with Christianity and what the church has done to them, what the church is doing in this country to them, and your response is to try and defend your religion, your faith, the church, whatever, you are not like, you are as bad as they are. Because what needs to happen is everyone, especially those that look like me, need to stand up and be loud and stop defending something that is not defensible, that there is no defense for.
Absolutely. And then I think it's, that's one of the things, like, trying to explain to somebody who speaking of Christian, like, that calls himself a Christian, when you try to see, like, somebody like me, I share a lot of the same beliefs as you. I don't believe that the Bible is the inerrant word of God. I think a lot of this stuff is good, but there's a lot of, as somebody who wasn't raised in it and I wasn't indoctrinated by it, a lot of that shit is very problematic. A
Yeah.
lot of it very otherizing in ways not coming off. It's almost like masked in a loving way, but all this, if you don't believe in Jesus, then this, if you don't believe in God, then this, those people, these people. And I'm like, that's a problem.
Yep.
And that's the thing. And then when you try to say something, oh my good gracious, they get very upset. And I'm like, see, this is why people have an issue with what's going on right now.
They don't want to listen. They want to justify their own position. Yeah. Yeah.
Very much so.
They want to be right. Like,
yes.
Again, especially when it comes to religion, there is this great desire, especially by those that are doing the most harm. There's this deep-seated desire for everything that they believe to be right. And they have been told that so often that Christianity especially is the only pure, the only good in the world, that we've almost been forced to try and defend, or at least what has come of that is this overarching deep-seated desire to defend everything that is, like, if anyone says that they don't like Christianity because of their experience, that is why you hear, oh, well, they're not really Christians, or, it's not all Christians, or all the other dumb things that we hear when it comes to men, Republicans, people that look like me, all of that stuff. Those are the kind of things that they respond. That's the response that they have been told, where that is the exact reason why people don't trust the church in general, why people don't trust Christians in general, just why a lot of women don't trust men in general. It's why a lot of Black, brown, indigenous people of color don't trust people that look like me. Like, These are the reasons. And until we all accept that and spend more time being the solution instead of trying to justify or defend something that is indefensible, like, even like just like Kia said, I don't believe that the Bible is the inerrant word of God. I stand up and speak out against anything going on in the church that I think goes against the fact that I personally believe that God created all people and loves all of them, and we should be loving and welcoming of all people, regardless of your race, religion, gender, or identity. But I also, if someone attacks Christianity, I don't defend it. I live it. And that is exactly what we all should, that is what, it's the same, again, it goes back to, it's the same thing for people that look like me. It's the same thing for all men. Like, if you are not one of those people that are causing the problems, stop defending yourself, stop defending that group, and just be different. Because that will mean more to fixing a lot of the problems that are going on in this world than anything you say. Because what you say means nothing. Just look at our current administration. What he says means nothing. Manipulation tool. Yeah.
Actions always speak louder than words. Always. That's why I tell my kids, don't believe what people say. Believe what they do. You know, that's actions always mean more than words.
I mean,
always.
And even more, your actions aligning with your words. Because again, you may be welcoming, but if somebody else is demeaning to the LGBTQIA community, and you just sit there and don't use your words, I know that's an action of speaking, but you kind of understand, like what people want is to hear you say the right things, but also do the right things. So don't.
I think it's even, I don't even know if we're looking at it the same way
Maybe.
Because it's totally, it to me, because your words, you can say anything, but the actions are the truth, because you see the actions.
For sure.
You see what they do. So it's more of, if you go by their words, it's kind of are they telling the truth? Are they not? When you see them,
yeah,
there's no denying it at that point.
No, you're right.
And I actually just had a conversation couple of Sundays ago about LGBTQ plus stuff. And I sat there for a minute and I told myself, Kia, you should keep your mouth shut. But do you think Kia kept her mouth shut? Absolutely the fuck not. So what is that?
I got a subscriber on YouTube.
Oh, awesome. You can't see the chat box at all. You're going to scroll out. Okay. So there's a lady in my church. Her and her daughter recently started coming. And super sweet.
You went quiet. Hello? That sound effect was perfectly timed. I can't hear you, Kia.
Okay, sorry.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm cleaning up a situation from this morning, sorry.
No, you're good.
But I picked her up and I picked her up for church, and we started chatting, and she brought up they just put in one of the towns close to us, they just put a new little shopping center. And y'all have to understand that in the town of Selma, there was like nothing. There's like some restaurants and hotels because it's right off of 95 and antique shops, but there's like no stores or anything. Like we got to go like 25, 30 minutes to go to like a, Old Navy or TJ Maxx or anything like that. Well, they just put in a new little shopping center and they're building on it, and they put a Hobby Lobby in it. And she was sitting there talking about how she went to Hobby Lobby and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't shop at Hobby Lobby. And she was like, well, why not? I was like, she's like, did something happen? Did they do something? Yada, yada.
Oh, they've
And I
done a
was like,
lot of things.
yeah, I was like, well, let's just put it this way. I was like, they just trying to keep it simple, trying to keep it. I was like, they've done a lot of things. I said, but one of the big issues for me is the fact they got rid of their DEI stuff. And I was like, and they're not very friendly to people who look like me and other minority communities. And she's like, oh, I hadn't even heard anything about that. And I'm in my head, I'm having a whole conversation in my head that's not coming out of my mouth.
Where have they been?
So what I was thinking, I was like, well, it's like, and I'm saying this very nice. My face, I was so proud. I shut my face off. And I was like, oh, it's been, like all over the news and, all over TikTok. And she's like, yeah, I like TikTok and stuff and everything. And I was like, there's a lot of companies that have been boycotted because they have problems and issues. And she's like, really? She's like, what companies? I was like, well, the first one that comes to mind that's a big one a lot of people know is Target. She's like, yeah. She's like, I stopped shopping at Target about 5 or 6 years ago. And I was like, yeah. I was like, they got rid of their DEI program and everything. She's like, yeah. She's like, well, I went in there and they had that pride stuff.
Oh
and
my.
And I'm just like, and she's like, yeah. So I'm not buying no stuff from them anymore. And I drove down the road for a couple minutes trying to get my thoughts together. And I was like, it's funny? I was like, the last time I shopped at Target was specifically for that collection. I was like, I went in and I wanted a pair of shorts. I was like, and I got me a Pride pair of linen shorts. Love them. They're linen with the stripes or the rainbow colors. I said, and I thought it was brave. I thought it was magnificent. And I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, because, because we are on our way to church. It was a church function. I was like, because, the way that I always thought Christians were supposed to love everybody. I was like, so it's just kind of funny to me, how many people are so hateful because of who people love and how they love. And I said, and really, when it comes down to it, it's none of anybody else's business. And I just kind of looked at her and smiled.
I agree.
That's why I've always called it Target. But you know what? I was proud of myself because I didn't lose my shit. Although the inside of me, I swear to God, that she beast was in there on those in a cage. Let me out. And
I can imagine.
I just, but it just, in the back of my head, I was like, this is what people talk about. Because, because very, very little things that people do anymore surprise me. But and it's not my, I wouldn't let's just say with some of the things she's explained to me that she's been through and stuff, I'm just like, now why would somebody who's been through those things that you have been be even willing to judge somebody else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love you too, Kiva. I couldn't let it go. And there was no fucking way we're going to be sitting in my car and you're going to be talking like that. I don't care who you are. I don't care. I mean, shit. I won't go into it because somebody's been coming behind me in lives and telling my daddy stuff that I've been saying. But let's just say I had to tell my daddy about himself too this weekend while I was gone. And I was like, that's why I tell people when they're like, it's uncomfortable. I don't give a fuck.
The answer is yes, it's uncomfortable. And you know what? It should be.
Yes. Yes.
It absolutely should be. If it's not uncomfortable, then you at this point, then you're probably part of the problem.
That part.
Trust me. Do I want to be uncomfortable? No, of course I don't want to be uncomfortable.
And I shared that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, but that is the reality, is we are dealing with a situation in this country where there is a large group of people that don't consider other human beings to be people. That is not a comfortable conversation to have.
I'm being summoned. Take my phone and my iPad with me. That's when I told her, I said, people love, I said, to me, I was like, I don't care who you love. I was like, and I even told her, I was like, I told my kids the same thing. I don't care who you love. As long as you love them and they love you back, that's all I care about. I don't care if they've got money or not. I don't care what they look like. I don't care if they have hair or not. I truly don't care. As long as they're good to you, I'm okay with it.
Yep.
And I wish, and for me, I'm like, it just spoke so loudly to me. I'm like, this is what people are talking about. You have these people who have this book that says it speaks so much of love, but you hear so much hate and just the otherism is, like I said, I've gotten to the point where when I'm in church, I'm writing down like scriptures, like I have a problem with this such and such. There's certain things I have to say. There's certain things I read in the story in the book, and I look at it as like stories. Some of them are some good stories. But like I even have like this whole issue with the part that says, and God gave man dominion over the earth and the beasts. Is that why we fucked this planet so bad? I mean, it's like, oh.
I just yeah.
Money kind of nice though. It can be nice, but also when you meet somebody that has money and you don't have it or make as much, that can be really ugly really quick, because then those kind of people, just speaking from experience, those people think that they're better than you. For some reason, people think when they have money that they're better than you or something like that. Sometimes, not all. It does help, but as long as they're willing, able, to try to do what they can to take care of you and your family, that's all that I care about. Because if not, your mama is not wrapped all the way tight and there will be problems.
Truth.
But I just, when I heard that lady, when I was hearing that conversation, until it just got to a point, which I understand why Black lady and the Black man got very highly upset and started yelling, I just couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yep.
So like control the animals. Exactly. Yes, Tiffany. Yes.
Which is why in the end, we don't do stuff like that on our channel. That's why this channel exists the way it does. I mean, yesterday we had a very intense conversation, but that's because it was about something that was important. But you can't, when you're sitting here talking about when you're having a debate involving the humanity of people, that is something different. Like that is not discussion worthy. Oh, Tiffany, you weren't frustrating. Like I said, it was insanely important to do it the way we did it, because it allowed, for me, I can only speak for me, I can't speak for Scott. It allowed me to think through my thoughts on it. Like, in the end, how can you have a conversation if you haven't heard all the arguments against it? Like, we can sit here and just say, we believe this about X, Y, and Z and how we should move forward. Well, that assumes in everything, again, other than the humanity of people, that everything is black and white, which it's not. There's a lot of directions that we can go with a lot of different things. And that's why...
Would you mind doing, because I was I was there when he first came on. I was there for a few minutes. I legit, after I posted my thing, I fell asleep within 5 minutes watching the live. I didn't wake up till the afternoon. So I seen somebody else was asking, but would you mind doing like a brief, like a synopsis what the conversation was about?
Sure. I don't remember how it started, but the conversation had to do with whether or not someone who is running for president should release their medical records before release their should not release their medical, should go through a medical evaluation, both mental and physical, and whether or not the results of that should get released to the public. In this specific conversation, it was only for someone running for president. And Scott added, I think, vice president and Supreme Court justices. Basically, the idea being, from our side of the argument, was these positions have so much power and have so much ability to hurt other people that that having someone who has something severely wrong with them, either mentally or physically, and specifically Scott brought up like FDR, like he ran for president pretty much knowing he would not survive those 4 years, and yet he still ran for president. Those kind of things. So that was kind of where the discussion was, and it really ended up going back and forth between and Tiffany was playing devil's advocate. What would be disqualifying? Being severely, someone who's schizophrenic. I would consider that disqualifying to have your thumb on the nuclear codes. I think there's a lot of things that would make someone unqualified to have that level of power. But again, our argument was the person running for president we could recreate it. No. I don't want to recreate it again. We can have a different discussion today if we want. But yeah, so that's the general synopsis of what it was.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to process. Now I sound Canadian. Process. Oh my gosh. Penelope is big and bad, and she's just laying up on the hood of my car, and the dogs are like eye level with her, losing their mind. Sorry, I didn't want you guys to hear that part. I think I could see where that could get kind of interesting, because I think it would definitely, if it's something that could affect your ability to do the job, but I think you definitely have to be careful, because as someone, the evaluation, absolutely. I think releasing it to the public, that's for me where it gets a little touchy. However, I think the only thing, if they were to release something to the public, maybe the part where they feel this is disqualifying. Like if somebody has early onset Alzheimer's, that might not be safe. But then I think we just have to be careful, because somebody like me, I mean, if they were to look at my diagnoses and just look at it, and people were to just know it and not know me and just see my diagnoses, that can make them think, that can make them biased.
But again, you're not running for president, and the idea is that it would be one of the stipulations of you agreeing to not only run, accept the nomination, but hold the office, just like if you had a job somewhere else that required you to take a drug test or a mental mental or physical evaluation before you could get the job. Even that is part of the job. It's one of the job requirements. Not everyone would qualify, just like not everyone qualifies to be president technically.
Well, actually, I think that's part of the issue. That's why my first thought was, I mean, in the Constitution, there's only like three things for you to be qualified to be the president. I think that's the issue, and that's where we need to start in
Well,
the first place.
for sure. I mean, it would that would be the idea, is it would get added as an amendment onto the list of a few things that I think should be on the list of requirements. Your dreams are dashed, can't be the president of the US. Technically, you couldn't anyways. You weren't an American. You weren't born here. That is that is one of the few that exist right now. And it's not even a citizen. You have to have been born here.
Yeah, I think I have to process on that one, because it's like I understand to be the president of the United States, but I mean, you got to get people that are going to want to get to that place. And if they know, okay, I have mental health issues and then I want to try to run, but it's going to be plastered all over the fucking news for everybody to talk about every day, that might start limiting the kind of people that we have running. Because I don't think that just because you have certain mental issues that you're not able to do the job, whereas some of them absolutely fuck not. Like you said, like, I
But
know somebody that was schizophrenic.
but
And like I would never let them, you know what I mean? Like, give them the codes would be terrifying.
But we already limit the people really that can run for president to 2. I mean, yes, technically there can be others, but we already know that they're not going to win. Like, we already do that.
Hang on,
Again,
can you hear me?
the question becomes, there's going to be positives and negatives to everything. So the question is, will the amount of people that will go, oh, well, I can't run because I have some level of mental illness, to how many people could we potentially keep from running that really shouldn't run because of the same thing? And again, my only argument is, this is the president of the United States who can unilaterally, pretty much, fire a nuclear arsenal. And when you look at the person who's in office right now, yeah, but they just go a physical exam. They don't even do any mental screening.
And I think they definitely should do some mental health, like brain health. I'm not talking about, do you have depression or anxiety? I'm talking about like actual brain health. I think that would definitely be beneficial.
Oh, it is harder, Patrick, to get security clearance as an aide to the president than it is to be president, because you're just guaranteed security clearance as president. Like, being president automatically gives you full security clearance. But to be just a nobody in the White House, it's like, because
when you think about it, though, pilots have to have certain exams and physicals and things that other people don't because of the kind of job that they do. I feel you. I just, my brain just takes a little time sometimes. I just got to process.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is something that you would agree to, just like any other job. And again, it is the most powerful position in the country, if not, maybe not anymore, but if not the world. My personal opinion is putting some protections on that does not. It's something you have to choose to run for, so you can also choose to accept those restrictions. Can you still try?
And I think for me, I'm okay with the testing part. I think where I'm getting stuck is the releasing it to the public, and if so, how much? I don't think.
Well, I mean, the results of those tests. I'm not saying like your entire past. I'm saying the result.
Hang on, let me just make sure I'm understanding. So just the results of those. So say if we have 3 things, like say if it is, schizophrenia, bipolar, and I don't know, something else. And if it's just release the results for those 3,
Yeah,
If those three were the parts
whatever
that are attached, I'm okay with that.
whatever we decide are the things, whatever, I mean, however many those may be, whatever we decide, whatever we are testing for specifically, are those get released. Not back, you know, not stuff in your past kind of a thing, but you do physical and mental screening right then for things that are decided would make it dangerous for you to have that kind of power.
Understand that. And Papale, I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. But yes, I agree on that. And I would also say if they should be able to pass the citizenship test that the citizens have to take when they want to become citizens of the United States. They should be able to take a citizenship exam, and they should be able to give details of how the damn government works. How is a bill run? Who's in charge? They should have to tell all of that stuff.
But shower heads.
Heard that, I was like,
who's excited about getting pressure back, even though his executive order did nothing?
Fucking what?
His executive order just removed a section talking about shower heads.
I know.
That is it.
But when I heard somebody say it, I was like, there's no way. See, I'm struggling because I usually watch your face to wait for you to finish talking, and there's such a lag. It's like I'm getting stuck.
I'm sorry.
When I heard that, I was like, are you serious? And then like I was watching maybe the news or watching something somewhere, and I heard him talking about it, and I was like, wait, what? And then I heard him saying it, and then I found a story, an article, and I started reading it. And I'm like, why aren't we trying to make sure that every child is fed? Why aren't we trying to make sure that all the damn seniors in this country are not at risk of losing their Medicare? And what about all the people who are qualified for Medicaid? Don't we have more important shit to do than worry about fucking water? Not to mention, hello, if you have water flowing faster through your damn pipes, what do you think is going to happen to your water bill?
Yeah, but he's rich, so he can afford that.
Exactly, but I'm just waiting. Now, I haven't been in a space to hear one of the supporters say, but that's a great idea.
Oh, I've heard it.
That's going to be, I've been very much limiting my time. And I mean, like, the last couple days, like, when I tell you, like,
it was funny. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. It was funny. I was watching some reporting about it, and Fox News went to this like town in I don't even know what state, but it was a small town. And went into this cafe place to ask everyone what they thought about it. And the funniest thing about the entire part was, so they talked to two people whose responses literally had nothing to do with the executive order. Like one of the guys was like, I love it because I'm so tired of waiting for hot water. And I'm like, increasing the water pressure does not change the amount of time that it takes for water to get from your water heater through the pipes that are cold. But the best part was he went to a 12-year-old and asked them, and their question was, do you remember what it was like before Obama did this? He's 12. This was passed before he was born.
It's funny because,
or like right when he was born.
I listened to Johnny for a little bit yesterday, and this dude was like damn near 60, and he was up there and Johnny got him good. And he was like, well, I bet you voted for Clinton, didn't you? Johnny was like, no. And he's like, why didn't you? Because you knew he was bad, huh? He's like, no, sir, I'm 24 years old. I wasn't alive. And then the dude was like, yeah, you voted for him. He's like, sir, did you not just hear what I said? I was not a lie. And he was the president of the United States. Holy shit. You saw that, Pamela? It's like, when I see shit like that, that's what really truly, that's what I was trying to explain to my dad, because my daddy thinks that Google is what helps early onset Alzheimer's develop, because you can look everything up on the phone and you have access to information now.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but it's like, I was trying to explain to him. I said, Daddy, I said, I'm in spaces that you've never been. I was like on TikTok and some of these live. So then he had no idea what a live was. So I had to show him that, explain to him how all that works. He doesn't have any social media.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I said, Daddy, if you could hear what some of these fucking people say, like with their full chest, you can't even see them because they're in a little box. And a lot of times they don't even have pictures, but they say it with their whole chest. I was like, you just know we're in trouble.
Yep.
That was a new take, Carson. And I mean, he just was trying to he was hell bent on telling Johnny that he voted for damn Clinton. And he's like, dude, I'm 24. Yeah, me either, Susan. Can't unhear what some of them say. Politics wasn't in your vocabulary when Clinton was in office. Yeah, but at least you were, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I saw somebody else had said something about, like older people. They said grandpas. Yes, 150,000% yes. That's why, even though as bad and big as I love Bernie, I think he's pretty cool in a lot of ways. Absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah.
Will I vote for him to be president? Dude is in his 80s. No. That doesn't take away from what he's doing, and that he can't be important, or that he's not important and what he's doing is not important until he decides he can't do it anymore. No.
Did you see him on CNN at a town hall?
No.
He was being interviewed by oh gosh, what's his name? I'm sure someone saw it.
Bernie has more use in Congress.
No, it wasn't Tapper. Anderson Cooper. Yes, thank you, Frodo. He was at a like a town hall with Anderson Cooper, and he just went off on the media in this, because they kept trying to like ask these other questions, and he just was like not having it. And it was kind of wild watching him just rip into media and Anderson Cooper for allowing the kind of crap not only to be talked about and given time, but the amount of stuff that they weren't giving time to. It was absolutely it was awesome. I kind of feel bad that Bernie's probably not running for Senate anymore. I agree. I don't think he should be president, but in the sense of I think an 87-year-old should not be president, no matter how much you like him. But I'm also sad that he's not going to be in office at all once his thing is done.
Siberia, if I hadn't seen you in all the spaces I have for so long, that kind of comment would have got you muted, because that sounds like something MAGA people say. Joe slept all day long,
which he didn't do.
Yeah, let's not do that.
You may not have agreed with Biden in the end, which is totally understandable, but even he gave his entire life to service. And that's way more than can be said to the current president. He filed papers to run again. I heard he was done after this one. Maybe he changed his mind.
How long does he have? Bernie is consistent. I think Bernie's great. I mean, I just like, that's the kind of person I am. If you haven't noticed, like, I keep shit like, just like when I tell people no caps, whether you're friendly or you're not, no caps. If you keep it the same for everybody, and I don't wishy-washy, like, that's why, like, I struggle with people when they sit here and like, well, I don't want to cut off my MAGA friends. Well, then you're not an ally. Like, I don't have that issue. And for me, if you're unable to cut off people who are against just simple rights and existence of people, like, I struggle to consider you an ally. I don't think you're a safe space. I think that, and I will continue to stand by it. But I did hear something and I thought of you immediately, Mike. And I want to say, was it Hawk it was Hawk, Falcon, Mr. Global, and Wiseacre, maybe? It was like some bigger people on a live and they were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about the how this conversation has come out, about people not talking about who should run until after midterms, and they disagreed with it. And as they started talking, I was like, because I was never on the whole we shouldn't. I think I actually agree very much with them. I think if we're waiting, Donald Trump ran for all of those years and he never stopped. If we keep trying to do as we used to do and wait until after, before we even start talking, we've already cut the election cycle in less than half. Because if you're not even talking about until 2026, starting to put out people and talk about who you want to run, that's going to give them less than 2 years to put everything together. Where MAGA has been doing this shit nonstop,
so
the whole time.
So I'm one of those people that doesn't think we should be focusing on the presidency. That does not mean that people cannot be having discussions about what we need to change. That doesn't mean people need to stop talking. That means for me that we need to stop sitting here and thinking who like having a discussion about who we want to run doesn't make them run for president. If somebody wants to come out and say, I'm running for president, sure, we can talk about it. Sure, I would love to hear them. Hopefully they'll be out and about and talking about what they're running for from the get-go. I have no issue with that. My issue is, us here talking about who we'd like to run for president. I think what we need to do is focus on the issues that are out there, which those will be out there whether someone's running for or not, and focusing on how we can get the Senate or get Congress back so we can hopefully slow down some of this stuff. But I think we absolutely need to be talking about the problems and how we can fix it and how the Democrats want to be different than they've always been. I think that stuff is absolutely necessary. I just think us talking about who we want to be president when no one's running. Everyone knew Trump kept talking because Trump never actually stopped running. So if someone comes in and says, I'm starting my bid for the presidency right now, sure, great. Go for it. All for it. I'm not going to focus on it, but I definitely...
But I think that's the word, because they weren't saying focus. I'm in the mind, I do believe that we can do more. I think we could do more than chew gum and walk at the same time. But I do absolutely think that the conversations among people, because like you always talk about, we have to vote in the primaries. And we need to start talking about people who we'd like to see run. Because whether or not, I think sometimes, even if we don't know, and maybe it's not being made known, but you never know who's hearing and who's listening, what's being talked about. And I think, I think we do ourselves a disservice if we don't start, because we are the people. Like, we are the people in the Constitution. We are the people that vote these people in. And I think part of the issue is with all the shit that's been going on and all the fighting they're trying to do, taking away voting rights and everything. It's like people have almost been okay with kind of giving up our voices. And I think if we stop doing that, even if it's just normal people like us, I think it's like, I
Yeah,
just
but
think I think we're just, and I don't think we should focus, but I think those conversations do need to start having to be said. Should we be focused on saying absolutely this person and this person? No, but I think we need to talk about it. I think we need to talk about what kind of leadership we want to see.
sure. And to be fair, we can do that without someone running for president, because in the end, if there were true leaders even in the Republican Party, there could be good things that could be done in this country regardless of who sat in the presidency. The problem is not only is there a really horrible person in the presidency, but there's a lot of horrible people in Congress. And so that's making it like triply bad.
True that.
And we've had lots of conversations about how we feel the Democratic leadership, the party, the leadership in the Democratic Party is failing the people right now, which again, I think that's something that's good and important to talk about. I just like one of the things that Scott said that I thought had a lot of value to it is, people like Obama. He didn't exist in anyone's.
To be fair, though, this is not 2007, 2008 anymore. It's a completely different beast. Politics as a whole is, to me, completely different beast than it was then. I do agree.
From 2008?
Yes, I do. I think that from 2008 till now, I mean, between SCOTUS and just shit that's happened, I totally think it's a lot different. I mean, everybody doesn't have to agree with me, but I totally believe, like I said weeks ago, fuck decorum with democracy is at stake. And I think if we keep trying to hold on to how we did shit even 10 years ago, I think that to me, 10 years ago, still holding on to that kind of stuff, I think we're putting ourselves in trouble.
I mean, sure. I agree that we shouldn't be holding on to things like decorum, obviously. I'm saying it more in the sense of we don't know who's going to come out of the woodwork to run. That was what I was saying. It has nothing to do with doing things the way they were done. It was Obama and was someone who wasn't no one. If we were talking like we talk now, no one would have ever mentioned his name because he was a complete unknown in the political world. So that's more what I was saying, in the sense of who knows who's going to come out of the woodwork and decide to run in the primaries. That's why my push is for people to pay attention in the primaries of everything, because you never know who's going to actually run. And because, we already know some people that are going to run, and we already know a bunch of people that we don't want to be the next president.
Ken needs a dog. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna...
There I go, looking at my phone, watching your face again. I'm struggling. I'm sorry. I'm used to just holding my phone and looking at you and talking to you.
You're good.
I'm struggling. I'm sorry.
No. It's something that everyone's got to get used to.
But like, Ken needs a dog. Yes. The leadership is way too soft. And I think the reason why they're soft is because they're still trying to play by 2000 rules in 2025 and 1990 rules and 1980 rules. They need to get over that shit. It is different. It is different. Whether or not we like it, whether or not that's the way we want it to be, it is different. and I think we need to move in a different type of way.
For sure. Frodo, I completely disagree. I think Chuck Schumer needs to retire right now and put someone else in leadership. Chuck Schumer should have. Yeah. Chuck Schumer lost a lot of support from the left when he supported the continuing resolution. And again, it's not even that they ended up signing it, because if you consider the potential of his argument, I understand his perspective. It's not even for me. This is just for me. I can only speak for me. Him instantaneously going from fight to voting to support it just destroyed all support he may have had from a lot of people. That's what you meant? Oh, like you just meant like Chuck Schumer. Gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think you misunderstood what he said.
I don't think he's a traitor. I think he's an old school politician that did what he thought was best, but what he thought was best was wrong. And you know what? We vote people in to make choices and do what they think is best. That is why we do it. And they make a decision, and sometimes that decision will get them not voted a second time or a third or whatever he's on right now. That's fine. I don't
They're chapters. The people in Congress should be like chapters in a book. They come, they serve, they go, and that's it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think after a certain point, there needs to be discussions. I mean, I think especially in the next couple of years, we'll see a big shift, because a lot of these people are going to no longer be running. You know what I mean? A lot of these really older folks are not running anymore. And I'm hoping that, that helps, more people to step up. And unfortunately, seems like on the other side, they're just getting younger and more fucking like crazy. Like it's almost, but going back to what I was saying a while ago, the point I forgot, and it probably was an important part, was they were saying, if Kamala wants to run again, like now she shouldn't wait until after 2026. She needs to get out there and she needs to start doing,
For sure.
we need to start seeing her now.
For sure.
Like, because of the fact that she only had the 100 days, her doing that. I think I've seen, when she made that comment, I told them so, but I wasn't going to say it. That's the kind of stuff we need to see from her. If she wants to run, she needs to go ahead and get that thought process together. I'm not saying that other people can't still come out, but I'd rather people be able to see somebody who's super qualified. Who have we ever had that's run for president that's been more qualified? Like, it's for me, I think it would be a disservice to herself if she doesn't get out before 2026 and start having herself be out there.
No argument. 100%. Again,
Yeah, Adrian.
I think if someone has the capability of doing it, I have absolutely no issue, and I think it would be a good thing for anyone who's decided they are going to run for president to start now. Have absolutely no issue with that. Even if it's just getting on TV and getting on podcasts, like just getting their word out there, like maybe not to the point of doing, no, maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying a minimum, just making sure that their face is seen on where people watch, and maybe going, but the point being, I know she's also considering running for governor. So, and she said she's not deciding until like August.
Well, I would love the opportunity to vote for her again. And Ken needs a dog. I think one of the things like I say often when we speak of that conversation is my biggest issue will be if people start hollering names and they're all YT men.
Sure.
Because as long as this country has been, since we've been the United States of America and have presidents, with the exception of 8 years, they have all been YT men. And look what the fuck has happened. So this bullshit that this country is just so, it's like you talk about you want change. How is that change? That's not change.
I disagree with you, Tiffany. She can
Yeah,
win.
I disagree 100% with you too.
She in 100 days, she lost by 1.5%. That is after 100 days.
And to me, this is, and sorry, but not sorry if I upset you when I say this. If you continue to spread that kind of thought process out into the world, you're part of the problem. Stop saying that we're not ready for it and start speaking it into existence. I firmly believe in the power of the tongue. Words have caused wars, y'all. Words are what start. That's the one thing. That's probably one of the things that I've learned, like we talk about in church, that I think kind of is very true. Words cause everything. Words start everything. Words can cool it up, it can set it on fire, it can make it stop. Words are everything. And unless and until we ourselves, the people who vote blue, stop saying that shit and start saying we deserve a woman president, we deserve something different. Because at the end of the day, this whole only white teen men can win shit is fucking ridiculous. And when I tell you guys, you're gonna lose people that look like me, you're gonna lose us. And when 92% of black women and 80% of black men always vote Dems, y'all need that vote. So I'm telling you guys, please be careful what you're saying. Because if you tell me that you don't think that this country is ready for a woman of color or a woman to be president, you are not an ally and you are not an accomplice, because you don't get to dictate that for yourself. And I'm sorry, but not sorry. That's just 100% the way I feel.
And Tiffany, to answer the question of will she get enough votes? She like, you are asking a question that is literally impossible to answer. It's literally impossible to answer. You're trying to ask a question of something that is going to happen 3.5 years from now. Being defeated 3.5 years from now, saying who's going to get enough votes, no one knows they're going to get, anyone who's no one knew who was going to get enough votes on anything. The fact is after 100 days, Kamala Harris lost by 1.5%. You'll hear people on the right saying, oh, it was the biggest victory because they only care about electoral votes. Electoral votes don't consider the fact that in the states that he ended up winning, the margin by which he won by were so tiny that he won by 1.5%. That was in 100 days. So the answer of will somebody win? Electoral is all that matters, bro. No. The people getting out and voting is all that matters, bro. Electoral votes are just an outcome of the voting. You win by 0.1%. You still get all the electoral votes.
And just Frodo, speaking to you and everybody else in the chat, whether you're on YouTube, well, I don't know how YouTube is, but TikTok, be very careful when you're talking about the ELECTION and that he didn't win. Just be very careful. People's the live streams have been getting booted for that. I don't know if you guys have realized, but they added a whole new reason for reporting alive, and it has to do with what happens in November on that first Tuesday. Just be very careful when you're saying that, because we have Discord. You can say all that stuff freely. Just please be careful in chat. We don't want to jeopardize Mike. I don't want you guys to jeopardize yourself either. Just be careful.
Maureen, I think you can over on YouTube.
Yeah, you may be able to on YouTube. I don't. YouTube seems to let things go a little bit. But I think that's one of the things we have to change the thought process. I mean, if we keep saying that a woman can't win, I mean, like, there's such a thing as internalized misogyny, ladies, and we have to make sure that we're not saying that. One of the things, don't forget, guys, he's also streaming on the Tube of You. So if you're having any issues, try, because we were having issues in Beck's live this morning. She ended up having to restart, but try scrolling out and then back in. And if not, try going over to the Tube of You. And don't forget to collect your points for like your heart me's. If you guys have sent heart me's or any gifts or any things like that, make sure you go ahead and claim your points too. That helps. That's for Mike's benefit, not ours. But you're right, Mike. I mean, look what they did. Look what that campaign did. Over $1 billion in 107 days. Like, it is freaking wild. And that's the thing. There's so many people that were so hopeful. Like, I mean, for like a year, ever since when her niece when there was that picture of her niece looking at her on the pedestal, that has been like on my lock screen. And the only reason I changed it to a picture of the sunrise when I was in Myrtle Beach, because I was just getting so sad. But I'm like,
Yep. Never a dull moment.
No, and every time I hear about DEI stuff or anti-trans stuff, or the bathroom bill, like in North Carolina, they're trying to bring the bathroom bill again. They're trying to hit in North Carolina on the state level with those school things. I saw an article the other day. I don't know if people know, but like North Carolina, we have Duke University, we have the UNC schools, which are the University of Chapel. There's not just the one in Chapel Hill, but there's several across the state. We have NC State. We have ECU. And I saw an article and they were showing all of the amounts of visas that were being taken away from the students. And it's just like, this shit is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like, I've been struggling. I think like that was part of my exhaustion the last couple days, like between just dealing with some stuff with my dad over the weekend and then just that constant bombardment. It got to me for a couple days. I wasn't sleeping. I was going to bed at 3:30 and getting up at 5:30 in the morning, and I was struggling.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you see this shit on the TV, but this, at the end of the day, like, the sane part of me knows that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to wear us all down with all this bullshit and all this vitriol and all this hate and all this shit.
See, Ken, this is what I'm talking about, and other people are saying it. Don't stop. We need to stop talking like the outcome is a given. If anything happens, we need to stop talking about that, because those kind of things get people to start giving up. That is literally what Kia was talking about earlier. We need to stop saying that if this person does this, then this is impossible. Or if this person runs, then they will never win. If this thing happens, then this will never happen. We need to stop with that idea. If everyone pays attention in the primaries and starts paying attention to what is the most important, because again, what it comes down to in the Democratic Party is, do we all care about the fundamentals that, like, we talk about here? If we truly all care about that, then almost no one should be voting for Newsom after what he talked about in his podcast.
That part.
just after that. Forget all the other stuff that he's done that I know other people have made him consider him pretty sketchy on. That alone should get people to not consider voting for him in the primaries. But we need to stop with this. If this person runs, I'm sorry, but no one else will win. I disagree with that. 150,000%.
Because this is my thing. If we are the ones sitting here saying she can never win, how the fuck do we expect her to win an election? How do you expect people to win if we are sitting here saying, oh, they can't win, they just can't win? Y'all, put good energy out there. We will win. We will win. Change the thought process.
And Ken, yeah, of course it depends on who she's running against. Because in the end, the way it should work in the primaries is you vote, you have the person who first your choice is who agrees with your fundamentals, and then you go down the list and you vote for the person who most closely aligns with everything that you believe in. That's what a primary is for. We just need more people to vote. 25% of adults or less often vote in the primaries. I don't think the biggest question is who she will run against. The biggest question is like that question shouldn't matter is what I'm saying. Just pay attention to who's running and get more people to be involved and have conversations about who you like and why you like them, and get out and vote in the primaries.
Mic drop.
I don't want to drop myself.
And that's so true. And this is like when I'm talking about, like when I was talking about, we don't know who's listening, because there's more offices than just the president that we need people to run for. You know, there's lots of people I've met and seen on TikTok that are running for Congress or in seats in places like in Tennessee where you wouldn't think, you know, if nobody blue runs, how is it ever going to turn blue? If it's only red people winning, how do we change anything? So that's what I'm saying. Like when I say we've got to change our thought process and what kind of vibes we're putting out into the atmosphere, we don't know who's listening. We don't know if somebody who's in these communities that we are in on TikTok is thinking about running. Maybe it's a woman. Maybe it's a woman of color. Maybe it's a trans person. Maybe it's, you know, anybody. But when they hear people in their own party or on supposedly on their side saying, we can't win, we need to motivate these people who do want to run and are willing to step up and do it. Not all of us can do that. I understand that. I couldn't do it. Mike has said several times why he wouldn't do it, but there are people who are willing to do it. And we want them to know, like, hey, we got you. Because without us, they are nothing. They can't win without us. We need to make them understand, like, regardless of what's going on right now, we have to. Like, I think this is why, like, Barack Obama was so, like, damn popular. Like, you've got to change the narrative. You got to stop. We can't sit there and say we're gonna lose, they're always gonna win, nothing's ever gonna. If you think like that is not, you're putting bad juju out there, and you don't want to do that. You've run in your municipal election in the past. Thank you. And even if these people don't win, they need to see that people are willing to stand up and fight for them.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, how many people do you think thought that the Civil Rights Act would never pass? How many people do you think thought that, you know, the amendments, the voting rights acts that gave women and minorities the right to vote would have passed? Like, How long did all of these things get delayed from becoming a reality because people said it wasn't the right time? We just weren't ready. It just won't happen this time. I'm sorry. Like again, could they have not happened? Sure. But I truly believe that so much stuff would happen sooner if we stopped just assuming it won't happen. And again, I don't know what you've gone through. You may have been working your butt off to get, you know, people like Kamala Harris elected, and you know, this is who knows how many times this has happened, and you personally feel like, you know, like it's pointless. And I can understand that. There's a reason that we've got a large group of people that don't want to vote for anyone who's a Democrat, because they feel like they stood up, they fought, and it wasn't enough. I completely understand that mentality. But if we truly believe that we are at a crossroads here, which arguably we were already at the crossroads and we failed. But if you think the crossroads still exists between, you know, the kind of world that the current administration and the people that support them want to see and the kind of world that we want to see, then you can't just give up. You can't just say we can't do it, because we already know that people like me leading, even on this side of the aisle, are not going to be the saviors of the problem, no matter how much other people think that way. And what needs to happen is we need more people that when someone says we can't do this, or this isn't possible, we need to be the ones stopping that conversation, because it absolutely is possible. It is possible. We know it's possible. We just have to believe it's possible. And we have to keep believing, because what's going to happen is failures are going to happen. Again and again and again and again and again. Just if people gave up, like I'm hearing some people around the country giving up, then black people would never have been looked at as people and had rights, any rights, and women would have not had any rights. Because how many years now have black people been fighting for rights?
And then you've got an administration in 2025 going back and trying to remove people's names off of websites. And the fact that they got put back up, we don't give a flying fuck. The intent was shown when they were taken off.
Sure.
And just to jump back into what Bonnie had your comment about Democrats with farmers in particular. Yes, I don't know if you guys watch Will Westmoreland on here, but they're starting their they have the backwood, I think it's like the backwood 40 or the back 40 or something like that. And they're going to start going out there to those red places. And I 150,000% agree with you, Bonnie. They feel like the Dems have kind of just gone more to the cities than they have to these rural areas. Yes, Kamala and Tim did that more, but they need to do better. They need to get into those small, not even just farm towns, but just small towns. They need to go to those small towns where people, just everyday, folks, just folks, no matter what you look like, no matter what color you are, just folks, and talk to them. And know we've got to do a better job showing everyday people, and not just people who are rich enough to put names on buildings and shit, that we care about them. The back 40, yeah. Like where you live, Laura. Yeah, like where I am. Like I live in a town of 2,200 people, y'all. Like there's 3 stoplights. And it's really pretty red, but this time I did see, because you know what? You know who came to Selma? Donald Trump. He came twice to Selma. I don't even know if Selma has 2,000 people in it, but he came. the closest we got anybody to come to us was Raleigh.
Yeah.
They need to do better with getting out. And this is the points where I think it's not necessarily just the leadership. This is where other people in the Senate can step up. This is where other people in the House can step up. Get out and see other people. Not one stoplight. We have stoplights because like one of where the first stoplight is, that road coming off of it is right off of 95. So like if 95 gets like broke down, our town a lot of time we catch a lot of the traffic because one of the main roads runs parallel to 95. So that's why we have lights, and that's it. Democrats are a little lazy. They need to work harder than before. I don't like the word lazy, but I agree they need to work. Lazy, like if you really do a dive about lazy's a pretty bad word.
I mean, you got to remember, lazy is what the Republican Party is calling the Democrats.
Absolutely.
So I would argue that that Democrats or people on the left as a whole are actually too ultra focused. They're too focused on who their base is. They're too focused on what is the most important thing. They're too focused on who they will support and who they won't support. That does not mean there aren't and shouldn't be people that are going to even be running that you shouldn't support. But that being said, I've had this conversation before that we on the left need to accept that there are fundamentals and then there's everything else. And while during the primaries our goal should be to get someone who, my goal in the primary is to pick who I think is the best. And that is who I will vote for. And that who is who I will, talk about. Just like if Kia likes somebody different, I expect her to talk about who she likes and why. And we need to have those conversations. But when it comes down to it, do they both agree on fundamentals? If they agree on the fundamentals, then we should all be copacetic there. That doesn't mean we shouldn't hold them accountable when they do things we don't like. That doesn't mean we shouldn't speak out when things happen that we don't like. But there is a difference between doing our job as the people and holding our politicians accountable and doing things which I think are just so wrong right now, which is either not voting for or not voting because of one thing they are doing that you don't like, that has nothing to do with those fundamentals. So that is, I think, where we have, I think that's where we failed. That's where we failed in 2024. That's where we failed. And forget the fact that 90 million people didn't vote at all. I think there are a lot of people that chose to ignore, take something they didn't like about Kamala Harris that in my opinion was past the fundamentals, and use that as a reason to vote for someone who could not win, like literally could not win, or was willing to ignore the kind of damage that we are now dealing with because of it. I mean, some people think that China's already doing it. I don't know if that's true. I've heard China and Japan have both started doing it.
Both started doing what? I'm sorry, I had to walk away.
Selling treasury bonds.
Mm. I don't know very much about bonds at all, honestly.
It's something that was a way for the average person to basically give the country a loan. So my daughter actually, my dad bought my daughter some treasury notes. So you hold on to them for anywhere from, I think there's some like 6 months, but it can also go up to like 20 or 50 years. And you basically earn interest on it the whole time. And then once it you hit that year, you can keep holding on to it or you can sell it. And basically the government pays you back for the money you gave them. Plus all the interest.
Thanks.
So basically the government is taking a loan out from you. But you're choosing to give it to them as opposed to, you know, them coming to you and saying, please give us money.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I wish I have messaged multiple Democratic leaders, like emailed their press emails. Hear nothing back. Maybe it's the way I'm writing it. I don't know. I don't consider myself a great writer, but I've been trying.
You know, this is where I wish you were friends with like Jolly or like Johnny, people who've actually like met these people that may have contacts and have a way to get a foot in the door for you.
Me too.
You know, Jolly, I've been noticing he was like up at like the day that Corey did his thing, he was there and he interviewed
Yeah.
the one dude out there in the hallway. And you know, when listening to Johnny talk about, you know, the things that he's done with the campaigns and worked with and met people and stuff like that, or even like Felice, like that would be great.
Oh, Jeff, I don't think they're not getting back to me because they're being lazy or pompous. I'm sure they get talked to, they get requests by a lot of people. I am a small content creator in the grand scheme of things. I'm sub 100,000 on TikTok. I'm not even at 1,000 on YouTube. I'm trying to grow in a lot of places, but I can't force people to watch my stuff. So,
You know, and why I always the other reason why I say we should be careful what we're saying, like I was in T's live one day and Joy Reid popped in. She popped up in the box and she talked to them for like a good 30-45 minutes.
yeah,
You know, you just never know.
for sure.
You never know who's in these spaces. We don't know who's on a burner bot account.
Of course.
And I think, go ahead.
That's why I don't stop what I'm doing. It's why I don't stop emailing them. I'm just saying, in the end, all I can do is what I can do, which is
Absolutely.
I do my lives, I post things. It's definitely become harder on the YouTube side because I hate talking by myself. That is why I have Kiva here talking with me. That's why I got Cam in here for a little bit in the beginning, because I like the conversation side of things. I don't like just talking to myself, which is why there hasn't been a new podcast out for a bit, because all of the people that I have normally gone to, there's things going on in their life that have made them unavailable, and I can't force people to be able to do it. So,
and I'm not a specialist enough on anything.
I mean, being a specialist isn't required. I mean, heck, Joe Rogan isn't a specialist on anything.
True.
Thanks, Laura. So specialist isn't necessary, but you know, it takes a lot of work. It does take work, and it's a time commitment to be that kind of involved. I mean, right now I am making every Substack post that I'm doing, every TikTok post, every Skylight post, every YouTube post. That's just a lot for one person to do.
It is a lot. And like, it seems like, the way they change it, they keep changing shit on TikTok. And, but at the end of the day, if the United States is not on TikTok, TikTok is still going to continue to be a platform that millions of people on this planet use. And they're still going to continue making money. And I think of one thing that we're going to learn with all this tariff bullshit and all the other bullshit that's going on right now is that we're not as big and bad as we think we are, and we're not as important as we think we are either. And I think a lot of people are going to have their little fifis hurt. They're going to have their little fifis hurt because, I mean, these countries are already going around us. Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello?
No, I'm just saying, I'm sorry. I'm multitasking.
Oh.
But I think as long as we change, I just think, and I hope, because I'm getting ready to have to drop here so I can finish getting ready right quick for,
Sure.
I'm going to actually go live. But I think we need to change our narrative. It starts with us. We can't expect other people to do things if we're not doing it ourselves. I'm real big on not asking people to do stuff that I'm not capable of doing myself. May not be able to do them. Somebody else might do them better. But the biggest thing is we have to change our thought process, y'all. We have to change our verbiage. We have to stop saying women can't win. We have to stop saying all these things, and we need to start trying to speak some damn life into it.
Yep.
We need people to hear we need people to have some kind of hope, even with all the bullshit that's going on. We cannot, I don't like to be beat in any sense of the word.
I want to say this real quick, and then I'll let you finish, because this goes along with what you just said. If you look at the Republican Party and MAGA and Trump and all that, as much as it is absolutely the most frustrating thing that man never admits defeat, I guarantee you there are people that voted for him because he, even when it was impossible, he said it was possible.
Absolutely.
And that's the mentality that we have to have.
Absolutely. And the difference is we're not relying on a bunch of lies and bullshit. We have truth, facts, and all of that behind on our side. And as long as we remember that, does that mean that this shit is always going to be easy? Absolutely the fuck not. Because at the end of the day, all they want us to do is just, all of us, just to be so fed up that none of us vote. And we just hand everything to them. I mean, are you guys not seeing the fact that Congress is, do we all not know that it wasn't always the president who was able to do tariffs? And look what's happening. Do we not understand what happens when Congress does not do their job and they allow the executive branch to overrun their job? There goes checks and balances. There's a lot of shit that's going on. And these people are legit trying to scare us. They're trying to make us mad. They're just trying to get us so worked up that we just say, fuck it, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And we can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Ken, I'm sorry, Ken needs a dog. I understand. You can vent your frustration without giving into those words and saying, we can't win, a woman can't win. That's not venting. That is just repeating, you're literally doing their job for them. Be pissed off and vent. Speak honestly about what is going on. Not, oh my gosh, she can't win. Vent about what's happening right now. Vent about what somebody did or didn't do. Vent about those kind of things. But just watch your verbiage. What you say, what you put out in the world is very important.
I agree. Because the fact is we can. We can.
Absolutely. And with that, I need to drop.
All right.
I've only got 5 minutes.
All
I
right.
love you.
Love you.
I love you guys. Thanks for this great engagement in the chat today. Don't forget, if you sent your heart me, make sure you send your heart me, collect your points for your comments, any gifts that you did, all of that stuff. And I'll see some of you guys in a few minutes.
Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, also, just in case you didn't know, I am multi-streaming, and one of the reasons I am is because I wanted to test things. I'm going to be streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. We're going to be raising money for Parkinson's research because it's Parkinson's Awareness Month, and I have young onset Parkinson's. So, on Monday, we will be doing that fundraiser. If you want to be involved, or I should say, if you want to support, make sure you are here. I'm going to be streaming for most of the day, and yeah, we're gonna try and raise some money for Parkinson's research because we do care about science. So, yeah, I think we're gonna end it here because it's 4 minutes until I would normally end anyways. Are your lives on YouTube vertical ones? No, they are horizontal on YouTube. But yeah, so hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Maybe I'll go live this weekend on Substack. I don't know, but follow me on Substack just in case. Yeah, guys, have an amazing weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday for the fundraiser. You guys are amazing just the way you are. Love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, and smile. Do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys.